Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I have Adam Anderson, owner of Element Security Group, on the show with us today. Adam, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right, you write books. You've got offers of self-paced online educational courses. You've got business owners that develop cybersecurity plans. Talk to me about how hackers actually drove a CPA out of business.
Right. So picture you're a CPA and it's the middle of tax season and you've got maybe 10 employees and everyone's working 100-hour weeks. And in the middle of all this, maybe February-ish, a ransomware hits your computers. So the story that the gentleman told me said that everything went down. Ransomware took down every machine. He had to start working with the FBI. He went from having systems in place and computers and software to having to do everything by hand. Poor guy had to take and hand deliver to the revenue and IRS folks the taxes of his clients, had to let them know that they could not digital file. In short, it was the worst attack that could possibly happen to him at the worst moment, and it took his firm out of business. He only retained about 40% of his customers, and at the end of the day, they all went and worked for somebody else.
Horrible story. And
yeah.
Now, how about the other one? You know, a lawyer turned a hacking nightmare into a chance to create a raving fan. Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So same kind of story. Hackers got into his point of sales, how he takes money, and they got in there by compromising a username and password. So they logged in as the administrator. The tool was good enough that it didn't show the internet through that tool. It did not show the actual credit card IDs, right? It didn't show the numbers. What he was able to do, though, is redirect where the money would flow through that point of sale and sent it to gift cards and debit cards that were throwaway. So the hackers sat on that tool, charged all of this lawyer's clients between $5,000 and $10,000 a pop, took that money and started sending it to debit cards and gift cards. And the lawyer didn't even know what was happening until the next day, where he started to get less than friendly phone calls from his customers, wondering what the guy was doing, charging them for this stuff. Wow. So that's pretty horrible, right?
Yeah.
Well, the silver lining is this guy actually had a cybersecurity insurance policy. And so the first thing he did is he called his insurance broker. They got him in touch with the right person. And in less than 24 hours, he had a PR person helping him with his messaging. All right, this is what happened. Here's what's going on. He had a forensic investigator that was able to understand what happened and make sure it was done. That person worked with the FBI, so he didn't have to. They had a system analyst who went and put all the stuff back together again, closed the doors that were open, and a lawyer showed up as well, specializing in this kind of cyber attack, all paid for by the insurance carrier. So he had about 3 months of disruption to his business, and that's not good, but he didn't go under, and all of his clients were so impressed that he actually got referrals, and he became known as the guy who can withstand cybersecurity or cybercrime, and he turned it into a branding thing. So there's the same, your preparedness and how you approach cybersecurity can be the difference between you're going out of business or you've just gotten a referral.
Yeah, it certainly can, but you still need a guiding hand to get you from point A to point B, and just like the banner you have on the front of your website, I just love that. That's the first thing that goes through your mind. Your hair is on fire, man, and it's broken. All right, let's drill down into this just a bit. Even small businesses need to know about cybersecurity. It's not that like Equifax when they got hacked or Sony or any of that. Walk me through the high points of what small businesses need to start paying attention to so that they don't because when you're vulnerable and you're fragile, so you need to really pay attention on this one. Bring it out for me.
Yeah, so I'll start with belief, and then I'll get into some steps. So most of us small businesses, we have some shared beliefs. We are not important. No one's looking for us. We don't have anything anyone want, and there's nothing we can do to stop them, right? And if that's your belief system, you're not going to take steps to make yourself safe. So I want to kind of piggyback on what you just said. They're after you. The cyber criminals know that the small business market has more money and is easy to get to. And a matter of fact, even when they want to attack Sony and Target and these guys, they go with their small vendors first, and that's how they sneak into the big guys. So you are a target. If you're in a supply chain or you have money, they're interested in you. So jumping into some of the things that you can do. I tell folks that you got to be able to recover from it after it happens, and then you got to prevent it before it happens. So recovering is two things. First is that cybersecurity insurance policy I was talking about. I don't care who you talk to. Go to any broker, say, I want cybersecurity insurance, because your E&O and all the other stuff that we have to have doesn't cover what's going through the policy. And make sure that you're not just getting a cybersecurity insurance policy that gives you money. It's got to come with that disaster recovery team. If you can find that, somebody will pay for damages and give you a disaster recovery team, you buy that insurance policy. And I think my company was about $3 million revenue, and it cost me $2,000. There's no reason not to do it. The second is good backups. If you want to recover after someone has just violated you and has messed with what you have, you need to have really good backups. And that's not, I've got a jump drive in the side of my computer, right? That is, I have some kind of software that I am paying somebody money for, even if it's just a little bit, like a Google Drive or something like that, that backs all this stuff up somewhere else. And then if something goes wrong, an adult will help me get it back, right? So that's your system admin from the insurance policy guy. He'll be able to help you get the stuff back. But really pay attention to the fact that not every piece of data is a file. You might have an application, or you might have some kind of database that needs backed up. And then you're probably going to have to spend just a little bit more, but still not very expensive. We call that backup as a service. So in order to recover, backups and insurance policy. Now, in order to defend, right, let's not have it happen at all. Automatic updates on your computer, like that annoying stuff where you might be in the middle of making a presentation for a TED Talk on cybercrime, and you're on that slide that says back up your patch your machines. And one pops up. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I finished the presentation. So I did patch after the fact. But you got to let the automatic patches come in. The second is don't log into your computer as an administrator. So your weakest link in your cybersecurity chain is the human part of it, right? And you can build the cybersecurity fortress, but if I send you an email and I say free Starbucks gift card, download and print, you're going to click on that, and now you've just infected your computer because it installed some software. Now, we try to train that out of people, but people do make mistakes. So by not logging into your computer as an administrator, you remove your ability to hurt yourself. It's like taking the sharp knives from the kids. So if you don't have permission to install software on your machine and you click on something that wants to do something bad, you've just protected yourself from that. And the last part is move as much as you possibly can off of your local machines onto cloud providers like Amazon or whatever. Like, don't run QuickBooks on your local machine, run QuickBooks online and move as much as you can to there, because you're right, these big companies do get hacked, right? But they're still so much better at this than we are. And think about your marketing message and your liability. I'm sorry. That server I had in my garage that runs all that financial data, it got hacked, and now your stuff's out. Versus Amazon got hacked. I was using Amazon Web Service. I'm sorry, Amazon got hacked. Same kind of results, but now you have angry customers on the one hand versus everyone has empathy because, well, what are you going to do? It's Amazon.
I agree with that. I'm all over this. Now,
Yeah.
5 common mistakes small businesses make when it comes to their cybersecurity.
Right. So, number one, they don't take the backup stuff seriously. So they're not backing their stuff up. They don't audit their insurance and get the right kind of insurance. They don't configure their computers for safety, meaning don't log in. Don't log in as administrator. They don't use two-factor authentication. So we just moved all that stuff to the cloud. And now it's your username and password thereafter. Remember my buddy who got the lawyer who got his username and password compromised?
Right.
Two-factor authentication means there's got to be a device attached to it. So they don't do that. They depend on username and passwords. And the last is they don't train their employees. You have to train employees because they hold the keys. And one of the ways we do that is my company, Element Security Group, we send fake phishing emails, phishing attacks, cyber attacks to employees multiple times a quarter. And when they click on it, it takes them to a 2-minute training video saying, yeah. So it's on-demand training for the employees who are at the highest risk. And then we give the employer a report every month. Yeah, looks like Sally has clicked on 100% of every link for the last 12 months. We're not telling you what to do, but maybe take email from Sally. Just saying.
Take Sally for some coffee and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can build her up, don't tear her down,
Right.
So, because I have done training for so long where I've gone and talked to people, and I've had really good PowerPoint presentations, and folks really responded, and it was scary but fun, and people got it. And after 2 months, they were back to their old behavior. So if they're going to attack you with software and automation, then your training has to also be done in the same way, through automation and through recurring behaviors over time.
Brilliant. All right, Adam, I'm looking forward to more conversations with you. I just love the way you present this stuff. Some people think it's dry, but it's not dry when it hits you. It's frightening.
It's scary. Yeah, very terrifying.
Good. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.